Welcome to part one of multi-track view and multi-track editing. And as you can see, we have 4 voice tracks and 1 piece of music we'd like to assemble on the multi-track view. Now we can move to the multi-track view in 3 ways: by using the toggles on the top left, the tabs just over the edit view window. 8 will keep us in edit view, 9 will take us to multi-track view, and 0 will take us to CD project view, where we can burn a copy of our finished work. So in this case, it's 9. And that'll take us directly into multi-track view. This is where you can drag and drop your audio clips and arrange them on the timeline for creative effect. As the playhead moves across the tracks, and depending on where you've placed your audio, you'll hear your production take shape. The great thing about multi-track view is that, unlike edit view, this is a non-destructive editing environment. Hopefully you've done a lot of the cutting and moving around and the processing in the edit view, leaving this view very much for assembly and arrangement. Your original files remain the same here, no matter how many changes you make by cutting, resizing, and moving your clips in this view. It really is fantastic. First off, I'd like to show you the 3 tools available in multi-track view: time selection, move copy, and hybrid. I'd advise that you use the hybrid tool because it gives the best of both worlds. Left mouse click controls the time selection, and right mouse click allows you to move or copy your clips. I'll show you this in a second. It's best to use a different track for each clip category. So for example, on track 1, I'm going to click into the track header here and type in voice. Move down to track 2, and I'll type in music. This follows for more complex productions as well. If you've got voice, music, atmospheres, sound effects, have a different track for each sound source. It makes mixing later on much easier. Track laying correctly in this way will give you great control when tweaking the audio levels at mixing stage. In multi-track view, bear the following in mind as well. Arrange your files first on the timeline and then tweak the levels last. Don't get involved in tweaking levels as you go along. Your work will take you an awful lot longer to do, believe me. Now let's show you how to move around the multi-track view, and let's lay out some audio and music from this folder. First, let's grab some of the voice tracks we've worked on. So I'm left-clicking, holding, and dragging. Left-clicking, holding, and dragging. Left-click, hold, and drag. Left-click, hold, and drag. And as you can see here, I've incorrectly put a lot of the audio files on 4 separate tracks. We don't want that. We want the voice tracks all in one place. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit now by putting my cursor on this little green bar here. See that? I'm moving it over and back. Putting your cursor on this bar, the zoom bar, and rolling it in will increase the zoom, and rolling it back out will decrease the zoom. Next up, I want to move all those voice cuts into track 1 where it says voice. Again, this is very easy. Making sure my hybrid tool is selected. The keyboard shortcut here is R. I right-click on the selected file, I hold it, and I move it. Right-click, hold, and move. So to drag in from the organizer window, it's left-click, hold, and move. And to move clips around the multi-track window, it's right-click, hold, and move. Very simple and very easy. Again, I'm moving the little zoom bar over and back here to see the full dimension of the project, and zooming back out to see all of my audio files in place: 3, 14, 17, and 22. Let's just say I want to move 3 and 17 down to a different track. How would I do this? Very simple. Hold down the Control key and click 3. Keep the Control key pressed down and press 17. Now right-click on any of the active files and move them down. If I want to select the first 3 audio clips and move them down, hold down the Control key again and left-click anywhere outside of the workspace. Move my cursor up to include all 3 files, and they're done. Selected. I can now move these anywhere. Really simple again. It's also important to show you how to move up and down between the tracks. The default view here is 4 tracks, but if I want to see tracks 5, 6, 7, and 8 and put audio on those, it's very simple. Go to the right-hand side where it says 1, 2, 3, and 4 to denote the tracks. Left-click and drag. And that shows you the different tracks available to you. You can also scroll your mouse wheel up and down, anywhere on the track view, and that'll take you up and down as well. You can see here from the left-hand side, this little zoom bar takes you all the way down to 128 tracks. Now I'm going to bring in my music by left-clicking and holding and dragging into the music track, and by right-clicking and holding to move its placement. Now, just to show you how multi-track view works, I'm moving some of the clips around. I want a little piece of music to play at the start, and then I want this artist to start talking. Let's have a listen. Make sure the playhead is at the very beginning and press the spacebar to play.
Back in the studio I tried to recreate this. The mark making, the scratching of the palette knife against the board, the application of paint by brush. I tried to rediscover.
And what you'll notice here as we play this is that the level meter at the very bottom of the screen is jumping into the red. Not a good idea. We deselect that by clicking on the red peaks. And that's it for this tutorial session, where you get your audio into the multi-track view and start to assemble how it looks and feels and sounds on the timeline. We'll talk to you for part 2 next.